Hello everybody, how is it going today? It is Tyler here with Zone In Sports, and in today's video we will be zoning in on the Week 2 NFL lines. But before we get into that, we will do a quick little recap of Week 1. And in Week 1 we gave out 9 picks. Unfortunately we go 4-5, so just under 500 there. Some tough ones. We had Eagles minus 3.5. Of course, they let the Lions come back late, and the Lions cover as the Eagles only win by 3. 38-35, the final there. We had Saints minus 5.5 at the Falcons. Man, they were down most of this game. They came back late and were able to get the win, but they only won by 1, so we don't get the cover there. Ravens minus 6.5 at the Jets. That's an easy cover. That was one of the easier picks for the week. Dolphins money line comes through for us as they win at home against the Patriots 20-7. Panthers money line at home against the Browns. Man, they probably should have won this game, but they let the Browns get a long field goal at the end of the game. It was long, but man, Cade York drilled that. It's a rookie kicker for Cleveland. They get the win there in Carolina. Give us a loss there. And then 49ers minus 6.5 at the Bears, of course. This is where, weather came into play. It was the absolute monsoon. As soon as I seen that Sunday morning, I'm like, oh, man, I don't want anything to do with this game. Just give me some rushing props. That's about it. But, yeah, it was ugly out there. The Bears end up winning that game 19-10. So it goes under. Bears win outright as the dog. 49ers lose Elijah Mitchell, and I'll throw up on the screen a screenshot of the good old parlay, one of the ones we gave out with some yardage props. Of course, it misses by 1 leg, and it was good old Elijah Mitchell. Needed 60 rushing yards. Pretty simple. Would have got it easily. I think he left with 41, and he left early in the second quarter, I believe, so he probably easily gets that 60. He probably goes for 70 or 80. Because that was just bad conditions to play there. Debo ended up having to run a lot for that 49er offense. But yeah, it was a tough loss there. Couldn't see that weather 3 or 4 days ahead whenever I gave out that pick. But those things will happen. Moving on, Commanders, we had minus 2.5 on the alternate spread. And they ended up covering it. It was looking kind of sketchy, man. Jaguars gave them all they got, but Commanders win it late, 28-22 to cover there. And then Raiders, Chargers over 52.5. Of course, that's a loss as that game was pretty low scoring, 24-19. Definitely was expecting some more fireworks in that one. The teams were moving the ball decently. It's just they couldn't finish drives. And then Sunday night was our last straight play of the week. We had Buccaneers money line minus 124. In Dallas, and they get the win 19-3 in a very, very ugly game. Dallas, tough loss, not just the game, but losing Dak for probably, I think it was 4 to 6 weeks at least. But yeah, that's tough, losing him. And then our teaser of the week, of course, that lost before it even got started, as the Rams Thursday night could not cover 7.5. It was looking decent at halftime, 10-10, but Rams offense just couldn't get going at all, and Bills were able to cruise to victory there Thursday night to ruin the teaser off the bat, but it only ended up hitting 4 out of the 8 legs anyways. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on into our Week 2 picks. Alright, so starting off tonight, Thursday night, you got the Chargers plus 4.5. Traveling to Kansas City. Over-under is 53.5 on this game. Starts at 8:15 Eastern Time. It opened as KC minus 2.5, and the over-under was 56.5. But with Keenan Allen and Parham out for Kansas City, I think that might be a reason why the line moved, or also a lot of people betting on Kansas City as well, moving that line a couple of points there. J.C. Jackson was questionable, but the latest I've heard is it sounds like he is going to play. Now, I'm doing this just a few hours before the game, So, yeah, J.C. Jackson sounds like he's going to play. Kansas City, nothing really too serious there injury-wise. Of course, no Harrison Butker, their kicker, but as you've seen last week, that was no problem. As Justin Reed, man, that was crazy. Watching Justin Reed hit extra points and absolutely bomb those kickoffs out of the end zone, touchback after touchback. Man, that was cool to watch. Of course, they did sign kicker Matt Amendola this week, so not sure if we'll see Justin Reed out there booting balls this week, but that was cool to see in week 1. Hopefully Butker is okay for KC going forward. But here, we're going to go with the over 53.5 as a straight play at minus 115. Remember, these odds are from FanDuel, as you can probably tell by the graphics on the screen. And yeah, Chargers, they won and covered but went under in week 1. KC won and covered and went over. Offense looked great against Arizona in week 1. Going with the over here. We got the Chargers over in 4 straight Thursday games, 6-1 in their last 7 overall, and 4-1 their last 5 road games. And for the Chiefs, the over is 8-1 their last 9 overall and as a favorite, and 5-1 their last 6 Thursday games, and also 6-1 on the over following an against the spread win. So yeah, we definitely like the over here. Even with Allen out, I think the Chargers will be able to score points. Man, Justin Herbert is really good. I like him a lot. And, Eckler, a great running back. Mike Williams, they'll look to get him going as he was basically missing in action in week 1, man. Didn't get many looks. So they'll look to get him going. Guys like Josh Palmer and DeAndre Carter, since, no Allen. With Parham out, they brought over Gerald Everett this year. He looked solid in week 1 for them, so look for him to get a lot of looks as well. And Kansas City, of course, their offense went crazy week 1. I believe they will continue to look solid here. Of course, Chargers defense much better than Arizona's, who was actually missing J.J. Watt last week. So, yeah, I think the Chargers D will definitely be a tougher matchup, but KC at home, man, they're going to put up points. Pat Mahomes, man, he's going to feed Kelsey. We'll see, how they match up with the DBs for the Chargers, especially if J.C. Jackson does end up playing like it's sounding like. He would be a big help back there, but I still believe KC will be able to put up the points. Both these teams I could see getting around 30. 35-31 possible final score there. So we go over 53.5 tonight. Moving into Sunday, we got the Commanders plus 1.5 at the Detroit Lions. Over under there is 48.5. Now, a couple of years ago, 2020 is the last time they matched up, and Detroit actually beat Washington 30-27. So, not that that matters too much, but just to keep that in mind. A few players questionable here for the Lions. Major one would be Frank Ragnow, the starting center. I think he will be good to go. Another one, DeAndre Swift, has not practiced the last 2 days, but I'm not worried about that. I definitely think Swift plays. And, early in the week, it's tough to do this because there's always going to be guys that are limited in practice, so they're going to be on the report. There's going to be a lot of guys listed questionable. So definitely want to look at those more so Saturday and Sunday morning to get those final injury reports. But I think we should be good to go there. And I'm going to go with the Lions money line at home here. I was hoping to get them as an underdog, but of course the Commanders, they covered in week 1 against Jacksonville, but they didn't look great. So the Lions, man, I think their offense will be able to score a lot of points here in this one. The defense I'm definitely worried about. But look for Aiden Hutchinson to have a bounce back here. He was kind of not really much of a presence in week 1, so look for him to be, he's a guy that's hungry, man. He wants to go out there and show what he's got, so I think he'll do that here. Get some good pass rush. Force Carson Wentz to probably make some mistakes. Both teams covered in week 1. Of course, Washington won. Detroit lost. Both of their games went over. I'm not going to play the total here at all, 48.5. I would definitely lean the over, but I just like the Lions money line here, man, so that's what I'm going with. The last 6 head-to-head matchups between these two teams, the home team is 5-1 against the spread there, and Detroit has covered 5 straight home games. 8 of their last 10 overall. Now remember, they are usually the underdog pretty much every week. So getting them as a favorite is a little scary, but I don't care, man. Going with my gut, I like the Lions to get this win here at home over the Commanders, who are 1-5 against their spread, the last 6 against Detroit, and 1-5 against spread their last 6 September games, and they have not covered in 4 straight Week 2 games. So yeah, sounds pretty solid here for Detroit. I like their offense to control this game and be able to outscore Washington. And next we have the Jets plus 6.5 traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Watch out for the Browns, man. New logo in the middle of the field. Watch out for Brownie the Elf. It's kind of a wild one. I definitely thought it was fake when I seen it, but they're really doing this. I think it's an old logo from back in like the 30s or something, but yeah, they're going to have a big old elf in the middle of their field. His name is Brownie. So, Cleveland Browns, man, see how they do against the Jets. I think they should do just fine. They won and covered as a dog against Carolina on the road in Week 1. The Jets lost and did not cover against Baltimore in a game that went under in Week 1. So, yeah, I'm expecting the Browns to win this game. I don't know if I would lay 6.5 because, they're going to be running the ball a lot, so I don't know how many points they'll really put up. I definitely think they win this game for sure, so I'll consider throwing them in teasers. Over-under has moved from 40.5 down to 39.5, unfortunately for us, because we are on the under, but I'm still going to take it. I still like it. Going Jets, Browns, under 39.5 at minus 114 there. The Jets have went under in 4 straight against Cleveland. They've went under in 5 straight September games and 7 of their last 9 against AFC North teams. And Cleveland has went under in 4 of their last 5 overall. 5-1 as a favorite and 6-2 in their last 8 against the AFC East. So yeah, like I said, considering Browns and teasers for sure. But as a straight play here, we are taking Jets-Browns under 39.5. For Buccaneers Saints, I don't have anything here. Buccaneers are minus 2.5. Over-under is 44.5. Consider anything here. It'd be buying a point to get Saints plus 3.5 at home. Should be solid, man. Buccaneers, every receiver's questionable. I swear, every receiver on that team is questionable. Definitely the main 3. Julio, Godwin, Mike Evans. I definitely think Evans will play. Julio probably plays, but Godwin I'm thinking will be out. I don't think it'll matter too much, but my main concern is what I saw in Week 1. The Buccaneers offense definitely struggled to score points, struggled to finish drives. They ran the ball very well, over 100 yards for Fournette, so look for him to be fed a lot in this one, especially with a lot of receivers nursing some injuries. But yeah, the Saints, at home, that's tough. They seem to play the Buccaneers pretty well usually, so that's one I'm just going to watch. And another one I'll just watch would be Panthers at Giants. Panthers are getting 1.5, and the over-under is 43.5. So I believe that the Panthers would be the ones laying the 1.5 had they held on for their win and the Giants not came back to get theirs back in Week 1. So either way, 2 teams that kind of stink. Talent-wise, I think the Panthers have more talent, but I don't know if Baker Mayfield is the answer. Danny Dimes ain't either, but Saquon Barkley, man, he ran crazy in Week 1. Look for them to feed him a lot, continuing going forward. But yeah, I can't take a play here, man. Both these teams kind of stink. So yeah, Panthers-Giants, have fun with that one. Moving on, we got Patriots laying 2.5, traveling to Pittsburgh, facing my Steelers, man. Over-under's 40.5. And our play here is going to be Steelers, plus 2.5 at minus 115 on FanDuel. Smart move would probably be to buy to 3.5, but I actually think the Steelers will win this game here at home over New England. So that's why I'm just going to stick with the plus 2.5, minus 115. The Steelers won and covered in Week 1 over Cincy in a crazy game that went to overtime, saw multiple missed field goals, and the Steelers were able to get theirs at the end, nailing a 53-yarder from Chris Boswell to get that win. New England, of course, offense could not get anything going against Miami in week 1 as they lose and did not cover in a 20-7 loss against Miami there. So yeah, New England has only covered one of their last 6 overall, and they have not covered in 4 straight road games. The Steelers are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 against AFC teams. They've covered 4 of their last 6 overall, and they've covered 6 of their last 7. Oh no, not covered, but they've won 6 of their last 7 straight up at home, and 6 of their last 8 straight up in September. So yeah, I like the Steelers to win here. They're going to give us the 2.5 points. Might as well take it though. I just think their defense, even without TJ Watt, that's tough news of course. But luckily it's not going to be for the whole season. Just a torn muscle rather than a ligament, which would have needed surgery. So should see him back in 6 to 8 weeks. I'm thinking, possibly week 8. But since we have a week 9 bye, I think they might, wait that extra week so he can get fresh off that bye in week 10. That's when I think he will most likely be back. But here in this week, not worried, man. The Patriots offense does not scare me by any means, even without TJ Watt, man. I am not worried. We still have plenty of dogs. Minka was all over the field making plays last week with the pick 6, blocking the extra point at the end to send it to OT. He came up huge multiple times. And, Devin Bush looked pretty solid for us, who, struggled last year after coming back from an ACL injury. So, forced a lot of turnovers last week, man. I don't expect to have that many again, but at least 1, possibly 2 here against Mac Jones, who I think I was actually listed questionable. But like I said, man, early in the week, take these injury reports, with a grain of salt. Some things are obviously more concrete than others. But yeah, I like the Steelers D to do very well in this matchup here. And, Patriots D is pretty solid as well. But I think that the Steelers, Najee got banged up last week, but it sounds like he should be good to go. And even if he's not, I think, Mitch will be able to make plays when needed. Our O-line stinks, but hey, they moved the ball when they had to a couple of times last week to get that win. As a dog in Cincy, man, tough win. I think that team's, feeling good about themselves. They don't want to come back and lose at home now, so I'm just going with it, man. You can call it a homer pick if you want, but I just don't see how you give the Steelers points here. Is it just because TJ's out? I don't know. I don't get it. I know our line stinks, but got the win last week. Moving on, we got Colts at Jaguars. This line moved from 4.5 to 3.5 now, and over/under is 44.5. Last season, these two teams split. Of course, Indy had the big debacle in the last week of the season. Win, and you get in the playoffs. Instead, they go down to Jacksonville and lose, man. They lost badly. I think they were like 14-point favorites, and they lost by, I think, 14 or 15 themselves, which is just insane. It was crazy to watch. Helped my Steelers sneak into the playoffs, but nevertheless, we're counting on the Colts to have a big bounce back here, as they had a rough week 1 where they had a tie in Houston. They were looking bad early. They actually had to come back to force OT, and then, could have won it with the field goal in OT, but Rodrigo Blankenship missed it, and, he got cut after the game. Consequences, man. He lost the game. Of course, they probably should have had it won well before that. But either way, I think they bounce back here. They're going to be mad about losing last year at the end of the season to miss the playoffs. And, people might be doubting them after that tie in week 1 in Houston, man. But I'm not doubting them. I think they will be still good to go. Shaquille Leonard was out, formerly known as Darius Leonard. But, Shaquille Leonard, middle of the defense, nice middle linebacker. He was out. Look for him to probably be back this week, even though it is not confirmed, but he should be back. I think they cover -3.5. I'm not even going to buy to 2.5. I'll take the 3.5 there with the Colts. -114 on FanDuel. One thing that does scare me is they have not covered 6 straight in Jacksonville, but I'm throwing that out the window, man. I'm just going off of the Colts wanting to go prove something out there this week. in week 2. Definitely got to look better than they did in week 1. They are 5-0 actually against the spread their last 5 week 2 games, and they've covered 6 of their last 7 following an ATS loss, and they've covered 6 of their last 8 on the road. And Jacksonville has only covered 1 of their last 9 overall, and they've covered just 1 of 6 in their last 7 September games, and only 1 of their last 8 as an underdog, which, they usually are the underdog. So, yeah, the over-under here, the total trends say to go under. I'm not going to mess with it at all. But, yeah, Colts -3.5, -114 is the official straight play there. Another 1 o'clock game, you got Dolphins getting 3.5 at the Ravens. Over-under is 44.5. These are 2 teams that I think are going to be solid this year. And, I want to see more out of them before I bet on either of them. I think, if anything, maybe you lean Ravens because they're at home. Also to note, Miami has only covered 1 of their last 10 matchups with Baltimore. So, they're not division opponents, so they only play every couple of years or so. So, take that with a grain of salt. Of course, Dolphins, much better team than they have been. Last few years they've gotten better. So, like I'm saying, these trends, some trends matter, some don't. Some people don't even care about them, so I just like to, get them for notes for games. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't care for them. I mostly go off my gut and then, just get some other stats to, back up my gut feelings. And, my gut on this one says to just not mess with it, just watch it, enjoy it. I just want to see more out of these teams. Ravens against the Jets in week 1, they did what they were supposed to do. Didn't run the ball as much as I thought they would. Of course, no J.K. Dobbins, no Gus Edwards. They bring in Kenyon Drake, but he didn't look great. Not bad by any means, but, they were throwing the ball well, so they just kept doing that, and it was working for them. So, Dolphins, they win in week 1 against the Patriots. Solid win there. I expected them to score a little bit more, but, the defense showed up. I like both of these defenses. The trends for the total, both teams have good under trends, so maybe you go there under 44.5. But like I said, I just want to watch this game and see what I get out of these 2 teams, and tough matchup here. We move on to the afternoon slate, 4 o'clock kickoff. You got the Falcons getting 10.5 at the Rams. Over under is 45.5. I don't have a straight play here. That's a lot of points, man. The Falcons actually, their offense looked pretty solid week 1, man. They were able to score points against the good Saints defense. So, the Rams defense probably better, but, they didn't look too good in week 1 against that feisty Bills offense. So, I don't want to make a straight play here, but definitely going to consider taking Rams and teasers. Get them down to like -4.5, 5.5, somewhere in there. I definitely think they win this game, of course. Good bounce back spot after the rough week 1 loss. So, yeah, I'll take Rams and some teasers. No straight play, though. And then moving on, we got the Seahawks getting +8.5 here at the San Francisco 49ers. Over-under is 41.5. For the Seahawks, to note, we got Jamal Adams done for the year, so that is tough. The 49ers do have Kittle questionable. He missed week 1, so that'll be a key one to watch there. I don't think he's going to end up playing, but it's definitely possible, still questionable. Seattle also will get Kenneth Walker back. Rookie running back. We'll see his first regular season NFL action as he was dealing with a hernia. So, yeah, didn't play week 1. He will get his first action this week. Seattle won and covered as a dog in week 1 as they hosted the Broncos. And then San Francisco, they lost as a favorite in Chicago. That game went under as well. So, yeah, 5-2 against the spread the last 7 overall for the Seahawks. And they've covered 6 of their last 8 in September. And they've covered 5 of their last 7 as an underdog. And they've won 7 of their last 8 straight up games at San Francisco. So, of course, this team's different than the one that won the last 7 of 8. But either way, this team didn't look too bad in week 1. Offense didn't do anything in the second half of that game, but I just, 49ers defense is good. It's just 8.5 points seems like a lot to me when the 49ers did not look too good in week 1. Of course, the weather was tough. I think we'll definitely see a much different team here in week 2. But I do think Geno's going to be out there, man, cooking, Something about they didn't answer the call, or he didn't answer the call. They gave up on him. Yeah, I don't know. Geno's back, man. Either way, Geno Smith covers. If you look at trends, you probably know that Geno Smith is a good covering quarterback. But how many games has he started in the last however many years? Either way, I do like Seattle to cover in this one, man. I like Seattle. I think I'm just going to consider it for teasers, though, man. Man, it's tough. I want to take it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take it as a straight play. Originally, I had it wrote down as a straight play, but as I talk myself through it, the 49ers are a team that has an offense that can blow up at any time, especially if Kittle ends up playing. Like, they could just go off at any time. Of course, no Elijah Mitchell now. That definitely hurts, but Jeff Wilson's still solid at running back there. So, Debo's going to get lots of carries. We'll definitely see that. I'm not going to take a straight play on it, but I'm definitely going to consider taking Seahawks and teasers, getting them up to, around like plus 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there. Moving on, 4:25 kickoff. Remember, these times are Eastern Standard Time. Bengals laying 7.5 at the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this line, I believe, opened at like 1.5, but that was before the Cowboys game had even started in week 1. Of course, Dak gets hurt, so this line jumps like crazy. And I was already going to be on Bengals before the Dak injury even happened, so I wish I would have jumped on it early, but I usually don't do that before the week 1 games are even done. But either way, we are going to be on Bengals here, but we're not going to lay 7.5. We're going to go ahead and buy that point to get minus 6.5 at minus 136 there. The over-under on this game is 42.5, but we're not going to mess with that at all. T. Higgins, that is questionable. Key wide receiver there for the Bengals. They still have solid weapons, even if he doesn't play. Cowboys' defense is definitely not bad by any means, but I don't think they're great. They have a couple of great players, especially Michael Parsons. He's a beast. As long as the Bengals O-line doesn't let Parsons do to them what T.J. Watt did last week, then they should be able to score some points. They're not going to turn the ball over 4 or 5 times. It's just not going to happen. And then as far as the Cowboys go, I don't see their offense being able to score many points without Dak. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott are going to probably get a lot of touches. So I don't know what to expect out of that offense. Definitely not much here. Bengals definitely taking them, minus 6.5. Of course, they have that tough loss in overtime to Pitt in week 1. And Dallas, of course, loses 19-13. They don't cover. And it goes under against Tampa Bay on Sunday night last week. Dallas has only covered one of their last 5 home games. And the Bengals have covered 8 of their last 9 overall. They've covered 5 straight on the road. And they are 7-2 following a straight-up loss. So, yeah, I definitely like the Bengals. Good bounce-back victory here as they travel to Dallas. No Dak, man, that's tough. Definitely like the Bengals to score a lot of points in this one and cover 6.5, getting that alternate line. Minus 6.5, minus 136 there for Cincy. Another afternoon kickoff here. Texans plus 9.5 at the Broncos. Over-under is 45.5. I'm just going to consider possibly taking Texans in some teasers, maybe get them up to 14 or 15. But, yeah, I think the Broncos definitely get the win here at home, but their offense looked terrible in week 1. Lots of weird coaching decisions that I just did not agree with. They definitely should have won that game in Seattle, but they should win this one. But I am definitely going to take Texans and some teasers, but that's it. No straight play. Another game that I'm not going to mess with here is Cardinals getting 5.5 at the Raiders. Over/under is 51.5. I was considering the over, but both teams actually have really good under trends, which kind of surprised me. But, Arizona's game went over in week 1 as they got drilled by the Chiefs. And Vegas, barely lost to the Chargers in week 1. That game going under. So, yeah, neither team has good trends against the spread at all. J.J. Watt might be back for the Cardinals. Not sure which way that's leaning right now, but if he comes back, that'll help their defense a lot. If he don't play, then I could see the Raiders definitely being able to score. JJ's a big presence there, so I'm not going to mess with it, man. Definitely going to watch and see what we get from these teams. See, who takes a step forward after, some tough outcomes in week 1 for both of these squads. And then moving on to the Sunday night game, 8:20 p.m. kickoff. You got the Chicago Bears getting 9.5 points at the Green Bay Packers. Over/under 42.5 has moved down to 41.5, which is rough for us because we are on the under, but I still like it. It's just a point, man. Under 41.5, minus 110 on FanDuel. We like that there for Bears and Packers. Both teams went under in week 1. Chicago has went under in 5 straight week 2 games, and they've went under in 5 of their last 7 following a straight-up win. For Green Bay, they have went under in 5 of their last 7 as a home favorite. So, not a whole lot there, but I definitely like this under. I think the Packers will bounce back here, get the offense going, as Allen Lazard should be back in action at receiver to help out that position group. And they did not have either of their starting tackles last week, and it sounds like both of them might be back. I think one will at least for sure be back. Bakhtiari, though, if one misses, I think he might be the one that misses. But either way, getting at least one back would be huge for the Packers there. And, I think they get the win, but I don't see a whole lot of points in this one. The Bears, they won an ugly game in week 1 against San Francisco. I like the Packers defense, man. I like Justin Fields with Chicago, but I just think the Packers D will overmatch the Bears O-line, and they're just not going to be able to score enough points. And we go under 41.5 for Bears-Packers. And moving on to Monday night, we have a Monday night doubleheader here. The first game kicking off at 7:15 p.m. We have the Titans getting 9.5 at the Buffalo Bills. Over/under 48.5. Last season, Tennessee was at home for this matchup, and they beat the Bills 34-31. So in week 1, Tennessee lost and did not cover, and it went under as they lose a game at home against the New York Giants, who are not a good football team. The Giants came back late, and they, got the win 21-20 as new head coach Brian DeBall had the balls to go for 2 in the win at the end after they scored that touchdown. He could have just kicked the extra point and went to OT, but hey, who knows? It could have got blocked or missed or bad snap, or we saw a lot of things from the special teams units in week 1, that's for sure. But yeah, they went for 2 and got that win. So yeah, Tennessee, man. I'm not sure what we're going to get here. I was leaning towards taking the Bills minus the 9.5, but I'm not going to take that as a straight play. Maybe consider taking Bills in some teasers. I'll definitely find some sort of way to take them to win, maybe with a player prop or something. It is Monday night, so that's something I might just wait to do Monday. Same game parlays or something, since there's just the 2 games Monday night. Yeah, our straight play for this one, though, is actually going to be the under of 48.5 at minus 115. And yeah, Tennessee has went under in 4 of their last 5 against AFC opponents, 6 of their last 7 overall, and 4 of their last 5 following an against the spread loss. Buffalo has went under in 5 of their last 7 as a favorite, and 9-4 their last 13 September games, and it's went 4-1 their last 5 when they are at home for Monday Night Football. So we definitely like the under 48.5 here. Bills definitely going to win this game for sure at home. Their defense, man, is so good. They're going to show up. Derrick Henry will probably get a decent amount of yards, I would say, but I don't think he's going to be able to do enough. I don't think the Titans' offense will be able to rely on him to win this game. They're going to have to be able to score points, so they're going to have to try to throw the ball. And Tannehill, who knows, with, no A.J. Brown anymore in Tennessee, so it's tough. Not a whole lot of great weapons. He's still got Treylon Burks, the rookie, is solid. Robert Woods, I'm not sure if he's back from the ACL, so I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this Titans offense. The Bills D is really good, man, so I really like this under 48.5. I just don't see the Titans scoring more than a couple times, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, and the Bills I could see scoring, 28, 31, somewhere in there, maybe the same final as last week, 31-10. That gets you under 48.5. So, yeah, that's our last official straight play of the week there, as the 8:30 p.m. game is Vikings getting 1.5 at the Eagles, with the over-under at 51.5, and I like both of these teams way too much to bet this game, man. I was considering taking the over, but I'm just not going to mess with it. Both teams had, I think the Vikings game might have actually went under, but they scored a lot of points. It's just the Packers couldn't do anything against them. The Eagles game went way over. I think it went over. I think it hit 73 points against the Lions in week 1. So, yeah, would consider leaning towards that over there, maybe throw it in some teasers or something like that. But, yeah, no official straight play on Vikings-Eagles. Just like both of these teams way too much. I don't want to take one side or the other and then lose the pick and have it ruin the season with that team for me. So, yeah, we'll just watch that one. Probably end up running some player props, Monday night, got to. So, always be on the lookout for player props. Will be put on Twitter always at ZoneInSports. Link is in the description. Be sure to always, go follow us there. And, we're always open to chat about, some picks, whatever's going on that day in the sports world. But, yeah, I always put out, any parlays that I end up coming up with for football. I throw them out there. So, yeah. That's going to do it, man. We'll go ahead and recap our straight plays, and then we'll go over a couple other things. So here we go, NFL Week 2 picks recap. Thursday night, we got Chargers-Chiefs over 53.5. And then Sunday, we have Lions money line, minus 126 against the Commanders. We got the Jets and Browns under 39.5. We got Steelers plus 2.5 against the Patriots. We got Colts minus 3.5 at Jacksonville. You got the Bengals minus 6.5. Alternate spread there, minus 136 at the Cowboys. And we'll go Bears-Packers under 41.5. And then Monday night we have Titans and Bills going under 48.5. So yeah, like all those straight plays there. And then, remember last week, we had a teaser of the week. We will do that every week. It was 8 legs last week. I, went a little crazy. It's week 1. Nobody knows nothing. Some, unforeseen circumstances, with crazy weather and, lots of different things went on. We only hit 4 out of the 8 legs. That'll happen. Last year, just know that I hit my teaser, I think, 4 times, and probably 6 or 7 times I missed it by 1 leg. It was super annoying, but either way, we will go ahead and get into this week's teaser. We're going to cut it down to 6 legs. I usually like to keep it around 5 or 6 legs, and it'll be 6 legs plus 5, and the odds for that will be plus 700. It'll be Steelers to plus 7.5, Rams to minus 5.5, Seahawks up to plus 13.5, Bengals down to minus 2.5, and we'll get Bears-Packers at under 46.5 and Titans-Bills under 53.5. So, yeah, I like this one a lot. We don't get the Thursday game in there. just because I don't want my teaser of the week to get ruined on Thursday night again. But I would not hate also including that over for the Chargers-Chiefs game. But either way, that's our 6-leg plus 5 teaser of the week plus 700. So yeah, we like that. Hopefully it comes through this week. And also, before we get out of here, risk-free for tonight, you get a risk-free same-game parlay on FanDuel. The amount's different for everyone. Might be 10, 25, 50. Mine's 100. I kind of wish it wasn't not up big right now. Baseball killed me all summer. But either way, we got one out there. I'll throw it on the screen. Make sure that you opt in to this promo before placing your bet, or you will not get your free bets back. I always try to remind people, just make sure you opt in, because if you don't, then you don't get your money back, and you might be upset. I don't know how you feel about it. Whatever, Either way, just opt in, man. But yeah, we like this 4-leg here. Now remember, real quick, for the promo, it has to be at least 3 legs on the same game parlay. Can't combine it with any other game from any other sport. It just has to be same game parlay between the Chargers and Chiefs. At least 3 legs, and the odds have to be plus 400 or longer. So plus 300 would not be considered good for this promo. At least plus 400. Here we have plus 432 on the 4-leg. We go with 2 touchdown scorers here, Travis Kelce and Austin Eckler. And we go Austin Eckler, 40-plus rushing yards. Gerald Everett, 25-plus receiving yards. Everett looked good in week 1. I like him to get a lot of looks again this week, as no Keenan Allen, no Donald Parham for the Chargers. So look for Everett to get at least 25 yards. Eckler, 40 on the ground. I like that a lot. They're going to feed him the rock, man, with, who knows if Mike Will gets going this week. They're, going to feed Eckler a lot, through the air and on the ground. I think he gets at least 40 rushing yards. Definitely think he gets a touchdown, whether it's through the air, on the ground, whatever works, as long as he gets in the end zone. I definitely like the Eckler touchdown. And Kelce, of course, is going to score a touchdown. Man, it's going to be Mahomes' favorite target. That's the guy he's most familiar with on this team at this point, with no Tyreek Hill. Definitely like the supporting cast around him as well, but Kelce for a touchdown, man, lock that in for sure. I'll probably take that almost every week this season, man. So yeah, 4 legs there. Kelce touchdown, Eckler 40-plus rushing yards. Gerald Everett, 25 receiving yards. And like I said, my risk-free is $100. So if yours is more like 10, then maybe you might want to add a couple more legs, because $10 into 40, depends how you bet. To me, that would be kind of pointless. But since mine is $100 risk-free, I can, do less legs and keep it, safe and simple. Plus 432. I mean, I just said safe. I have 2 touchdowns in this. That's never really safe, even though it is the 2 guys that are most favored to score in this game. Either way, that's enough nonsense for me, man. That's it for our week 2 picks, man. Like I said, follow us on Twitter at ZoneInSports to be on the lookout for some more parlays that we will have on Sunday. We'll do, a couple more teasers, maybe some player props, touchdowns, all that good stuff. We'll give that out Sunday morning early on Twitter. So link in the description for that. Go follow us over there. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Like I said, man. Stay tuned for more coming soon. Have a nice day. Peace.